We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Focus on fire rising through your form. Focus on fire rising through your form from toe up until the body burns to ashes, but not you. This is one of the important meditation technique. Very simple yet wonderful, very easy to do, but there are certain basic requirements which have to be fulfilled beforehand. Buddha liked this technique very much. Whenever he initiated his disciples or anyone, he would ask them, he would initiate the seekers into this particular technique as his meditation. Whenever someone was initiated by Buddha, first thing he would ask him, he would tell him to go to the cremation ground, the burning ground, and observe a body being burnt, the dead body being burnt. For 3 months, he was not to do anything but just sit there and watch the body put on the funeral, on the pyre, and fire is set and it is beginning to burn. So the seeker would go to the burning place of the village. He would stay there for 3 months, day and night, and whenever a dead body would come, he would just sit and meditate on the body being put on the fire and burned. He would just look at the dead body. Then fire would be created and the body would start burning. And for 3 months continuously, he would not do anything, just look at the dead bodies being burned to ashes. Buddha said, do not think about it, just observe, just look. And it is difficult not to come upon the thought that sooner or later that your body is going to be burned. Difficult, not very difficult that the thought will not come. Sooner or later your body will be put on the fire and it will be burned. 3 months is a long time, and continuously day and night, whenever there was a body to be burned, the seeker was to meditate. Sooner or later, he would start seeing his own body as being placed on the pyre. He would start seeing himself burned. This is the meditation. So, in the beginning, thoughts will arise, but a time comes in when he will visualize that instead of the other body is being placed on the pyre and fire is set, he will imagine that his body is placed on that. Nanak used to go to the cremation ground and meditate there. Sooner or later he would start seeing his own body being placed on the pyre and set to fire. He would start seeing himself being burnt. It will be helpful. If you want to do this technique, go to that place. Watch. Not for 3 months, but at least watch one body being burnt. Observe it. Many of you go to the funeral service. The burning is done not by everyone. There is a process of cremation. There is other process. So if you can watch one body being burnt, observe it, then you can do this technique by very easily with yourself. Do not think, simply watch the phenomena, watch what is happening. If you search, you may find the pictures of the body being put on the funeral pyre and set to fire. Whenever I have to attend a funeral service, I will just, if there is a possibility to sit down, if not, stand up, or whatsoever facility is available, I'll just continue to stare that the body is being burnt. And this image is stored into your mind. Then you can do this technique easily with yourself. Do not think, simply watch the phenomena, watch what is happening. People go to burn their relatives' bodies, but they never watch. They remain there in the useless talks. They start talking of other things or about death. They argue, discuss, and they do so many things. I am very strict and stern in such matters. People think that I am uncourteous or I do not have the manners. Doesn't matter. When I have gone to the funeral service, you will find somebody will come in and will start talking. I said, I'm sorry. I have come here for a purpose, not to talk to you. If you want to talk to me, you can tell me. I can come to your place or you can come to my place. If you have to buy something from a supermarket, you have to make an effort to go there. Not that supermarket will come to your place. Ask. The same thing. Whenever these things happen, whenever I go to the family gathering or a funeral service or such occasions, ask questions. They do not have time. Maybe the last time I met a person, he said, I haven't seen you for a long time. I said, it's true. We are not friends. And there are few common friends. One of the common friend does not invite me. The other one invited. So that's why you can see me here. And I have not come here to talk to you. This is an occasion where I have come to give my best wishes for the birthday or for the occasion that may be. So this is not, you may not like my ways and means, but this is how I am. When I am on a particular somewhere for a particular purpose, this is how it has to be. People go to burn their relative's body, but they do not watch, they do not observe. They remain, start talking other things, start talking about death, which they know nothing. They just use the things out of whatever they have heard. They argue and discuss. They do so many things. They talk many things and gossip, but they never watch the body being burnt on the funeral pyre. It should be made a meditation. No talking should be allowed there. And also one thing happens, this is the thing that awakened one has to focus on, because the body that is being put to burn has been connected with the soul. So there is a kind of a bonding between the two. It is something like this: you have bought a new car, but you had used the old car for many, many years. So there is a bonding affinity. Although the new car looks better, but you still open and go and check the old car. So although the soul has come out of the body, so body is lying lifeless on the ground, at that time crying and things like these does not help in the transcendence of the soul. It is already in a trouble to leave the body that is no more alive. It cannot enter into the body. So at that time, the awakened ones have to focus on the soul, or even in the funeral service. It is said that when you are going to attend a funeral service, you stand up on the right side of the body, offer your prayers, and give your energy for the soul to transcend, to go, to leave the body. So there are certain prayers that are performed for that purpose. And it is not only the responsibility of the one who is doing the funeral service, the priest, but of every individual. And more so, it is incumbent. It is important for the awakened one to do this service. So, at that time, should I focus on my responsibility as an awakened one, or engage in the petty talks? So no talking should be allowed, but it is always done there, because it is a rare experience to see someone you loved being burned. You are bound to feel that you are also burning there. If you can see your mother or father being burned, or your father or your wife or your husband, you are bound to see yourself also there in the flames. That experience will help for this technique. Buddha has focused on his disciples to stay in the cremation ground for 3 months. But I tell you, whenever you have an opportunity to attend the funeral service, go and observe that. The burial is not going to help as much as the burning of the body will help you. You see, this is where the technique comes focus, that your body is set to fire from toe and up. So you are focusing on that. That experience will help you in this technique. The first thing. The second thing, if you are very much afraid of death, you cannot do this technique because the very fear will protect you. You cannot enter into it. Or you can just imagine on the surface, but it will not be going deep into you, and then nothing can happen to you. So remember, the second thing, whether you are afraid or not, death is the only certainty, whether you are afraid or not. It makes no difference whether you are afraid or not. Your fear is irrelevant. In life, nothing is certain except death. Everything is uncertain. Only death is not accidental, it is certain. And look at human mind. We always talk about death as if it is an accident. Whenever someone dies, we say the death was untimely. We say he died untimely. We never say that it was the right time. Oh, he was young, too young to die. Who are you to decide that? It is the death itself decides when is the time for the person to leave the body. Whenever someone dies, we start talking as if it has been an accident. Only death is not an accident. It is not accidental. Only death. Everything else is accidental. Death is absolutely certain. You have to die at a particular time when it is destined. And when I say you have to die, it seems in future. It is not so. You have already died. The moment you are born, you died. With birth, death has become a fixed, a certain phenomenon. It is like two sides of the same coin. One part has already happened, the birth. Now the second, later part has to happen. So you are already dead. It is dead. It's certain. If you do not want to die, do not have to take birth. If you are afraid of finishing something that you want to eat, then do not order. Because the moment you order, the process of its finishing has set into motion. With birth, death, the process of death has set in motion. If you are afraid of death, do not be born. But birth is accidental. The birth has happened. It was not in your control. So too death is not in your control. You are already dead, half dead. Because once you are born, you have come into the realm of death. You have entered into the process. Now nothing can be changed. Now there is no way to change it. You have entered into it. You are already half dead. Second, death is not going to happen in the end. It is happening every moment. Death is a process. Just as life is a process, death is a process as well. Every day, certain cells die, new cells are born. This process continues. Birth and death, birth and death. We create the death. Life and death are just like your 2 feet, 2 legs. Life and death both are process. You are dying every moment. Something is dying in you, something else is taking birth into you. This process continues. Let me put it in this way. Whenever you inhale, it is life. Whenever you exhale, it is death. The breath goes on, going out. The first thing a child does when he is born is inhale. Child cannot exhale. The first thing that everyone does as a child is inhalation. He cannot exhale because there is no air within his chest. So he has to inhale first. If at the birth there is no air within him. Now first thing the child, the moment is born, inhales. First act a child performs is inhalation. And the old man, while dying, will do the last act, and this last act will be exhalation. Dying, at the moment of dying, you cannot inhale. So at birth, child inhales. At death, the man exhales only. Otherwise, every moment in the process of life, the process of inhalation and exhalation continues as a process. One breath comes in, next goes out. One comes in, next goes out. At birth, there is only inhalation, and at death, there is only exhalation. Dying, you cannot inhale, or can you? When you are dying, you cannot inhale. The last act is exhalation, not inhalation, and the first act is inhalation, not exhalation. So this is how it goes on. So inhalation is birth, exhalation is death. It is continuously happening in you on a moment-to-moment basis. Every moment you are doing both. You are inhaling, you are exhaling, but you do not relate it to the birth and death. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhalation is life, exhalation is death. You may not have observed, but try to observe it. Whenever you exhale, whenever you exhale, you are at peace. So that's why the Kapalbhati is asked you to do when you are only exhaling through the solar plexus. So that, why does it bring relaxation to you? It frees you of many inner turmoils and disturbances. It is because you are consciously entering into the moment of death. And death brings peace. Exhale deeply and you will feel a certain peace within. Whenever you inhale, you become intense, you become tense, and with every exhalation, every inhalation creates tension, and every exhalation creates peace. And the ordinary emphasis is always on inhalation. I'll tell you to take deep breath. you will always start with inhalation. So purposely I had asked all those who are connected with me to do this exhalation, deep exhalation. Really, you are afraid of exhalation because you do not want to exhale, so you keep on bringing the air inside, and after the process is completed, it forms the carbon dioxide. The toxins remain within the body and keep you tense and disturbed. So exhalation is more important. As a natural process, we inhale, and when the air is inhaled, it goes through the entire system. It needs to be exhaled, but we are afraid of exhaling. Inhalation, you have no control over it, but exhalation is an effort, a conscious effort. The moment you make a conscious effort to exhale, you will feel more at peace, harmony, and oneness. We are afraid of exhaling. That's why breathing has become shallow, because you do not want to exhale. You never exhale. You go on inhaling, and only the body goes on exhaling, because the body cannot exist with inhalation alone. It needs both inhalation and exhalation, life and death. So when you start exhaling consciously, many things begin to change. Try one experiment. The whole day, whenever you remember, exhale deeply, but do not inhale. Many times I have told you, you can do this wherever you are. You are in the office, sitting on your chair, exhale. Or make it a point that every time the clock strikes the hour, you will exhale 10 times. So you can make a discipline for yourself, and see whole day you will remain relaxed. So when I mention you, at times you do not take the awakened one seriously and sincerely. Oh, I exhale, I do this whenever I have the time. What do you mean by that? Whenever you have time. You have time for other things, but not which is essential for your living. Try one experiment. Whole day, whenever you remember, exhale deeply, but do not inhale at that moment. Allow the body to inhale on its own. You simply exhale consciously and deeply, and you will feel a deep peace, because death is peace. Death is silence. And if you can pay attention, more attention to exhalation, you will feel egoless. Those who listen to this and are doing it on a very disciplined manner, they will experience many things. Relaxation, things are peaceful, not only within but around them also, and they will feel egoless. Earlier on, the words of the others used to hurt, but now they do not, because the moments of egolessness comes in. When with inhalation you feel more egoistic, with exhalation you feel more egoless. Pay more attention to your exhalation the whole day. Whenever you remember, and as I said, every time clock strikes hour, or you can do another thing. You have switched, you are going to your work, you switched off your car, exhale 10 times. You are coming out of the car, going to your office. As you enter your office door, you are committed to yourself, exhale 10 times. Then when you sit down at your office desk, again do the same thing. You are going to the washroom, exhale, coming out of the washroom, exhale. So you can discipline your life to offer the prayers 5 times mechanically. You are doing it mechanically. But when I am asking you to do this is not important, because this is not mentioned in the holy books, that you have to do the exhalation 5 times. But prayer, salat, the namaz is mentioned in the holy scriptures 5 times. It is incumbent on a Muslim. As a human being, it is incumbent on you to breathe out consciously. You can forget all the other scriptures and everything, but continue exhalation. Your life will be different. You will be transformed. You will never remain the same, but you like the traditional ways, traditions. Exhale deeply and do not inhale. Allow the entire body, allow the body to inhale on its own. You do not have to do anything for inhalation, but for exhalation you have to make a conscious effort. This emphasis on exhalation will help you very much. Do this as an experiment. Then you will realize offering 5 times prayer is a ritual. With that you perform without understanding. But this is a conscious effort that you are doing. It will give you more relaxation, make you more peaceful than anything else, than any of your rituals, because this is the scripture of life. This is a scripture of living. Exhale deeply and you will have the taste of it. It is beautiful. It is relaxing. It is peaceful. It brings tranquility. It brings egolessness in you. Enough for now. Introspect on what I have said so that you can continue doing this, and do not tell me that you do not have time for this. At times, Raghuvar Dayal used to say that when people say that do not have time for this, then forget about coming here and remain in the world and continue doing your work. If you do not have time to attend to these sessions, forget about it. Forget about everything. And do not tell me you come whenever you have time. You don't need to have time. You are not doing an obligation to me. I don't need anyone. He used to say, I do not want the dogs of the world to come to my doorstep. So enough for now. Experiment this, introspect on it. Enough for now.